Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and welcome to BMFG 4623 Engineering Economy and Management. This is what we're going to cover, which is chapter number 2 here. Right, this is chapter number 2, and we will cover about factors, how time and interest affect money. So this is the learning outcome for this chapter number 2. We have 7 indeed. I will talk today in the first part of this chapter until number 4, which is what is f of p and p of f factors. These are two factors, alright? And we will learn how to derive and use factors for single amounts, compound amount, f over p, and present worth, p over f. Number 2, p over a and a over p factors. Number 3, f over a and a over f factors. Number 4, the factors values. Number 5, arithmetic gradient. Number 6, geometric gradient. And number 7 is we will find I or N using equivalence relations. Alright? Okay, this is basically using equations instead of using the factor, what do you call that? I'll show you later. Alright, let's move on. So in this slide, we see that one cash flow diagram. See, what is cash flow diagram? The cash flow diagram looks like this. Alright. Okay, it's a straight line. Okay, with A right here. Okay, you can see that. An arrow going downwards and one arrow going upwards. And the one going downwards, we call it as P. And the one pointing upwards, we call it F. Okay. So what is P? Okay. So P is your future value, your present value, I'm sorry. Whereas F is your future value. And then you'll be divided into N. N is the period. Okay, it could be in terms of years, in terms of month. It all depends on the question given to you later in the exercises. It always starts at 0, where present meaning now is always start at 0 and finishes at end. Okay, so can you see that we have two equations over here, right? We have two equations. We have two equations indeed. Okay, this first equation is to find the value of f. The second equation is meant to find the value of p. So f is equals to p in bracket 1 plus I to the power of n. So what is p? Present value, right? And then what is I? I is your interest rate. And then N is your number of periods. Okay. With this, we could also find P using this equation number 2, where is P is F equals to 1. Okay, let me change this. Okay, it looks better this way. 1 over 1 plus I to the power of n in bracket. Okay, so now we know F is future value. I equals to interest, and N equals to number of periods. Right. These factors, we also have something that we call as standard factor notation as this. Okay? Whereas the letter to the left of slash is what is sought. The letter to the right represents what is given. What does it mean? Okay, for example, if it is written F over P, okay, in comma, I, what else, N in bracket, left of the slash, which one is the left of the slash? Okay, the left of the slash is actually this. Okay, and so what it says, if we have something like this, it says find F given I and N. Understand? So what if I write this way? Okay, what if I write this way? P over F I N. So it's actually find P given I and N. Alright, this is easy, isn't it? So we do have things that I've said earlier about. Okay, I've said earlier about PA and AP, FA and AF. Alright, so these also in the future along the course, you'll find something like this as well. P over A in comma I N. You can also find A over P comma I comma N. You can also find F over A I N. You can also find A over F I N. A over G I N, and so forth. Okay, but you have to understand that whatever's given on the left side of the slash, okay, which is here, is what is sought after in the question, or what is you want to find out in the question. So the way you write this down is very important so that you won't get lost in the translation, in the question. All right, because I see a lot of my students lost in translation. It gets back to these fundamentals of writing the factor. Okay, you must remember this, important. So now we have, okay, the F and P and P of F factors notation and equation. You can see that F of P IN is single payment compound amount given F over P, and you can also solve these using equation. Okay, why do you have standard notation like this? Because you will be given a table that gives you all the values of F of P, P of F, A of G, A of P, F of A of F in a table. And I will show you later in the next slide, okay? So, right. Okay, we should move on. Okay. Why not some exercises, right? Okay. The exercise tells you that a person deposit $5,000 into an account which pays interest at a rate of how much? 8%, okay, 8%. And the amount of account of the 10 years is closest to what? It gives you amount of numbers, so you need to calculate. So given here, need to find the amount after. So you want to know the future value, not the present value, because the keyword here is after, okay? So you go to F equals to P times F over PIN, okay, which is equivalent to P in bracket 1 plus I to the power of N, and you get the answer 10,794.50 which is answer number C. Okay, right? Okay, so this is easy peasy. Now we go to the next question. Okay, finding future value using table. So we want to use table. Okay, right. A person deposits $5,000 into an account which pays interest at a rate of per year. The amount of the account is 10 years. It's the same question, but now we do not use, okay, any equation. Here we use equation. Okay. Now we want to use table. So how do we get the tables? Okay, let me find in my folder. Hopefully you can easily get it. All right. In my slides. Okay, where is the table? I'm afraid it's not here. Okay, it's over here. Compound interest table. It's not here. Okay, I don't know what is the problem, but well, I should give you another tutorial about how to use the compound table. Right. Okay, never mind. We go back to the. Okay. So with the table, if you go to the values of F over P at I equals to 8%, N equals to 10, you'll be given these values. Okay. So whatever you do is we just times the money that you get to the value of the figure you found from the table. It's more straightforward. Okay, it doesn't involve much calculation. It's just multiplying the value of the money with the factor given you found using the table, and you get the answer directly. It's easier. So in engineering economy, you have two ways to answer. All right, you can either you can either have it in factor forms, okay, or you can have it in equation. Okay, both will give same answers. Okay, if you're not happy with the answer, you can always check either way. Okay, right, so now we proceed about finding future values. Okay, a person deposits $8,000 into an account which pays interest of 8%. The amount of account of the 5 years is closest to. Okay, how do you find this? Okay, from the cash flow diagram, you can always draw this line, straight line for 5 year, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and it says find the amount of account after 5 years. Okay, find F. Okay, I equals to 8%, P equals $8,000. So you just get everything in. Okay, F equals to $8,000 times the factor F of P given I equals to 8%, N equals to 5, equivalent to 8,000 times 1.46 4693, and it gives you the answer of 11,754.40. Okay, another example, you can find the present value using formula. So first of all, when you have the kind of question, it is always safe to draw a cash flow diagram where P always showing down, F always showing up. So from this question, you are given F equals to $50,000, right? And it gives you how many N? How many N is given to you? So it gives you 5 years. So N equals to 5 years. It's over here. Okay, and I equals to 10%. Okay, the interest rate and P. So you put everything into the equation and you get a final answer of $31,045. So what's interesting about this kind of question is that if, for example, you have a plan to become a millionaire, for example, in the next 5 years, you can always plan how much you should be saving in a fixed deposit account with at least a 10% rate of return. And within 5 years, you can become a multi-millionaire. All right. So you can use equation to predict your future. So you can plan out how much money you want to deposit in your bank account. So next, we can also use finding present value using table. So a small company wants to make a single deposit, so it will have enough money to purchase a backhoe costing $50,000 5 years from now. If the account will earn interest of 10% per year, the amount that must be deposited now is nearest to, okay, you have to calculate the present value of the money if the value of the backhoe will be 50,000 in the next 5 years. So in the cash flow diagram, you have to find P showing downwards. Okay, you have future value 50,000. I equals to 10% and N equals to 5 years. You put everything in. Okay, everything in the equation. But now we use table. So it's over here. And the answer is B, given here. Okay, now we move on to uniform series involving P over A and A over P. Okay, P over A and A over P. The uniform series factors that involve P and A are derived as follows. Cash flow occurs in consecutive interest period, and cash flow amount is same in each interest period. So we have a uniform cash flow, isn't it? Right. And it flows in consecutive interest period. What does it mean by consecutive? It is repetitively one after another. There's no lagging. Okay, it's the same for number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the same value. That's what consecutives mean. Okay, the standard notation for A for the equation are P equals to A in bracket P over A I N, or if you want to find A, is P times A over P I N. Okay, if you can remember that I said earlier, if you want to find P, you should put P in front of the slash, left, okay, on the left side of the slash, to be able to find the notation. Now if you want to find A, you put the A value here as in the front slash of the standard notation factor over here. Okay, so the cash flow amount is the same in each interest period. Okay, so you have P value you need to find out. and you have $200, okay, given to you, the same amount, okay, for the next 5 years. And the I, is it given here? No, it's not. This is done consecutively, occurs from year 1 to year 5. Okay. So how do we solve this? Okay. Right. This is not a complete question yet. They has not given any value of I. Okay. The standard notation finding these B over A and A over P factor notation and equations. This is how we find it. For P over A, I, N, you need to find uniform series. Okay, it's too big. I just deleted it. Right. Okay, or you can use a standard notation for finding A over P, where you get the capital recovery. Right? Or if you do not want to use the factor, the table, you can use the factor formula. It's written here. Okay. So in your exam, being now everything is online, everything will be given to you. So you need not to memorize the equation. However, it is good for you to understand the fundamental problem when you solve the equations given to you later on. Okay, example of uniform series